gone up from an average of 15% to an average of 20%. Now, why is that? During that time, shouldn't that inflation of living costs have been passed on to the employer, not the consumer? Because my living cost is inflated at the same rate as the waitresses. So that additional cost on their salary should have been compensated by the places of business, not passed on to the customer. I don't like that the percentage is different than it was when I was a kid. That does not make sense to me. And honestly, 20% is higher than you'd pay on a credit card, a car, a fucking loan. That's an insane number. I pay it because I like good service and I like to make sure those people earn something for giving me.
And if I go to a place with really good service, I'm likely to go back there. So I tip next time I show up. I'm taken care of.
You have a good time. Right. Exactly.
But then it's putting the responsibility on the wrong bloody person, isn't it?
That's really all it is. I don't have a problem with.
Yeah, you're probably wondering what I'm doing. Well, it's Valentine's Day night, and Lady and Boomer and I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. So Lady Boomer is actually out happy hour with some of her workmates because our anniversary is 8 days from today. So we've never celebrated Valentine's Day. She's oh yeah, I was listening to another stream. I was listening to the AAA with Sinatra and Drunken Uncle and Ghastly. If you're wondering what that noise was in the background while you're waiting. But anyway, I don't celebrate Valentine's Day, so I thought, what the hell? I'll do a little stream until Lady Boomer gets home and just hang out with y'all. Because, hey, gotta do something, right? It's Valentine's Day. So, I got a couple gifts in my old in the old Twitters today. And so I figured, what the hell? I'll go through a couple. These are just gifts. I'm telling you, they're gifts, not gifts, but gifts. And so until my buddy HB goes on, I'm just gonna stream for a while. So real quick, let's say hello to who's already here. There's only a few of you. Hey, but you know what you can do? You can retweet the tweet I just tweeted if you're on Twitters. That's kind of a tongue twister, isn't it? Well, here's the tweet that you can tweet while I'm on the Twitters, and happy Valentine's Day. So there it is. You can follow me at Dawg Knight. You can see that right down there. No, it's over there. It's over there. Down there it says my Twitter's down there, and mine's and Gab's. I'm at Dawg Knight. Donations at pdawgknight.live. Super chats and all that shit. That'll show up in the chat every once in a while. So, hey, welcome to a special edition of Dawg Knight Live. Play the intro. All right, and that's it. That's the intro. Oh, is HB not streaming tonight? He might not be. I don't know. I didn't keep track of the schedule. I know he usually does it tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay, I got it wrong. The dude's got to take some time off every once in a while. I don't think he streamed today either. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I'm streaming now. I am streaming now. So let's say hi to everybody who's here so far. Good morning. Good morning. I'm so used to saying good morning that I'm not used to saying good evening. Good evening, Mike Savage, who gets the bell because you were the first. Oh, what the hell is that? That's not. There, let's try the bell. It's not MC. Anyway. Hey, Mike. Also, hello to the gate. Oh, my goodness. I got a super chat already for $2.01 from Shrouded Angel. It says. It's just a super chat, and I'm very happy that for the $2 super chat. you know, if you want to be a part of the show, just throw a super chat in, and I'll read whatever you type in there. Because this is just one of those, you know, I don't know, whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, hello to the gayest person on YouTube. Good evening. Good evening, Johnny Hellcat, Kessler, Uncle Bobbity. Uncle Bobbity, what's up, my man? From who hangs out over with HB. Let's see, who else? Johnny, I said Johnny Hellcat. Cynical Lindsay, how you doing? Green Badger Outdoor, Jim Jones, and Jay Wolf, and you know, people will stroll in and out as we go along. So here we go. You know, the reason though, the thing that I got excited about today. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta have some. I'm sorry, I forgot. I also gotta have a little ambiance, a little something to get you all hot and bothered, because it is Valentine's Day. Let's have a little R&B in the background. Is that even on? Oh, it's not. Here we go. Yeah. Some nice and smooth sounds for the background tunes. And I think I got them at about the right level. It's close. Looks good. I'm going to turn it down just a tiny bit, just so that you can hear me. But the thing that got me going, and the thing that really made me go, I gotta talk about this now. It was breaking news about 2 hours ago, maybe 3 hours ago, on the old Twitter feed. And it was everybody's favorite lawyer. He's America's lawyer, Michael Avenatti. Michael Avenatti, I'm sure you've heard by now, disgraced lawyer Michael Avenatti was found guilty in the Nike extortion trial. Now, this is one of 3 different federal cases against Michael Avenatti. Oh, you know what? I realized I never changed I gotta move where the old chat goes. I just forgot to do that. You know, I added some, as you can see, creepy porn lawyer, America's creepy porn lawyer, found guilty in the Nike extortion trial. And this is, like I said, it's like one of 3 different, cases against him right now. Federal cases. This was an extortion case, though. Good morning. Good morning. Good evening, Gazira Lane. Yes, it's not the morning, it is the evening. It is Valentine's evening. Disgraced lawyer Michael Avenatti was convicted of all 3 charges related to his efforts to extort up to $25 million from athletic apparel giant Nike. The verdict in Manhattan federal court came 2 years after Avenatti gained widespread notoriety for his representation of porn star Stormy Daniels in her legal disputes with President Donald Trump. Trump's then lawyer. Okay, you know, why are they talking about Trump and not Avenatti? Trump's then lawyer Michael Cohen paid Daniels hush money. Hush money? Hush money, huh? You mean like, well, whatever. They had an agreement. They had a non-disclosure agreement. Anyway, to keep her quiet about claims of an affair with the president on the eve of the 2016 election. Let's see. The verdict in U.S. District Court in Manhattan came 2 years. Okay, we already said that. The bombastic attorney who briefly flirted with running for the Democratic presidential nomination faces 2 other pending federal criminal cases this spring related to alleged thefts of millions of dollars from clients, including Daniels herself, and some other serious charges. Aww. Poor Michael Avenatti. But you know, I'm not even going to read any more of this. I just think it's fucking hilarious. Because he's kind of a shitbag. And I, you know, not so much because of his client, Stormy Daniels, but he himself was just an ass. And I wanted to bring something to your attention about Michael Avenatti. And there's a couple of good videos out here, and I'm going to play one of them. From the old Twitter feed, just a little flashback, of Michael Avenatti. You know, because I just think that we need to remember how the media was treating Michael Avenatti. Oh, let's just say about a year ago. here, this is a perfect little video, kind of giving you a feel for what the media felt about Michael Avenatti. It's a retrospective, by the way. Ready?
He's Donald Trump's worst nightmare, Michael Avenatti.
Joining us once again is Michael Avenatti.
Let's bring in Michael Avenatti.
Michael Avenatti. Michael Avenatti.
Michael Avenatti, thank you very much.
He's out there saving the country.
Don Meacham says he may be the savior of the republic.
You are something of a folk hero now.
I owe Michael Avenatti an apology. I've been saying enough already, Michael. I've seen you everywhere. What do you have left to say? I was wrong, brother. You have a lot to say. I am just dying to hear what you think.
People all like you.
I'm the only person right here Donald Trump fears more than Robert Miller.
We think
I
you
think
guys
he fears him
are
no
the tip
longer.
of the spear that's going to take down Donald Trump.
Michael Avenatti's a beast.
Okay, that's true.
And
he's a beast.
He's a beast.
I hand it to her, and I hand it to Michael Avenatti.
But he has a bigger calling here. That being a lawyer is minimal compared to what he's doing.
No one has talked tougher directly to Donald Trump on TV than Michael Avenatti. And Donald Trump is afraid to mention his name.
That's fascinating.
Donald Trump is terrified of Michael Avenatti.
He gives Trump a lot more money than anybody else, Michael Avenatti.
An existential threat to the Trump
Existential
presidency.
The Democrats could learn something for you. You are messing with Trump a lot more than they are.
He has no doubt created sheer panic in Donald
panic,
Trump's
yes.
very fragile mind.
Michael Avenatti is laying down the law as guest
Laying down the law.
Is he really thinking about running for president?
One reason why I'm taking you seriously as a contender is because of your presence on cable
Oh,
news.
you
Look at the field of Democrats right now, and Avenatti's the one who stands out.
If they decide they value a fighter most, people would be foolish to underestimate Michael Avenatti.
I've always said that they need a fighter.
Look, I mean, we're going to continue to use the media. I think we've used it with great success.
Yes.
All of my
Thank
sexual
you.
fantasies involve handcuffs.
Thank you.
He's Donald
Now-
Trump's worst nightmare.
I'm sorry. I spoke too soon. The last part of this was.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Oh, I need to clip that. Here, I'm gonna bookmark that now so I can just clear that. All my fantasies include handcuffs. Well, you got some handcuffs in your in your present and your future, Mr. Avenatti. Good for you. So just as we're going through this, for CNBC, now Ace at the Ace of Spades blog, which I went over to here, also makes some good points. Hey, at CNBC, if you're providing background information about Michael Avenatti, how about mentioning that he was a fixture on liberal Democrat propaganda organs and was seriously touted as a possible president by liberal Democratic media types. And, Rick Wilson, remember him? The guy who was in Trailer Park Boys? Okay, not really. But, yeah. Has anyone done a wellness check on Avenatti superfan and guest of the Qatari government, Rick Wilson? Condolences to Doha Rick following the news that his good friend Michael Avenatti has been found guilty in all counts. Because here's what Rick Wilson used to tweet about Michael Avenatti. Maybe these are still up. Are they still up? Well, here it is. Rick Wilson. Bullies are always like Trump. He hits people he think can or won't hit back. Michael Avenatti is so deep in Trump's brain, Don probably writes and deletes 100 tweets a day about him. I'm waiting for the tweet from Donald Trump regarding Michael Avenatti right now. Sir, I told you this morning in my show, I said, Mr. President, please put down your iPhone. Well, I am retracting that statement. Mr. President, please pick up your iPhone. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yay, Michael Avenatti. By the way, my thing over here ain't working too well. I'm gonna have to figure out how to. Nope, that's not the one I want to move. Hang on, let me make an adjustment here on the chat box because I don't know how to freaking use it. Clearly I screwed this up. Okay, let's make this so it'll fit in the actual. Oh my gosh, that's never gonna fit in there. tell you what, we're just gonna leave it. I don't care. I had to make up some new scenes for this new PDawg Knight live screen, and there you go. By the way, hi. I say to, let's see, Jim Jones. I think I said hello. Jay Wolf. Yes, I'm down here. Let's see. Check your logic. How you doing? Damn it, Chadwick at AKA Chadwick Dupree, Snugs McLeod, and Green Badger Outdoors. Okay, I got everybody now. All right. So Michael Avenatti. Now, there's also another person who has some interesting legal troubles that I think is. I found this is very, very interesting, and her name is, what is her name? What's her name? Is it the former Baltimore mayor? Former Baltimore mayor. Let me get the right thing here. That's twitchy. Prosecutors seek 5 years in prison for a corrupt former Baltimore mayor who scammed the medical hospital system and diverted hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars into buying her stupid Healthy Holly books. So here was the scam. If you were a healthcare or insurance organization or hospital that wanted a city contract, you had to please the mayor. And you know what would really please the mayor? Spending $500,000 of taxpayer subsidized dollars to buy her stupid little children's book. Former Baltimore Mayor Catherine Pugh made a killing on sales of her self-published Healthy Holly children's book. For example, she sold 100,000 copies at a total cost of $500,000 to the University of Maryland Medical System, on whose board she was sitting at the time. But well, no, we forgot about that. She was sitting on the board of one of the companies that decided to buy her book. Also, Maryland Automobile Insurance Fund purchased $7,500 worth of copies shortly before Pew successfully sponsored legislation sought by the company. More. Kaiser Permanente, I don't know what that is, which was seeking a city contract, also purchased more than $100,000 worth of the mayor's self-published books, and a local nonprofit that won a big city contract just happened to purchase $8,700 worth. But when reporters tried to track down copies of this amazing best-selling series, they found 8,700 unsolicited and unopened boxes of Healthy Holly books at a decrepit Baltimore School District warehouse. Well, there were never really any books to begin with. They were merely markers for bribery payments by which money could be siphoned out of the publicly funded health system and into one of the Baltimore mayor's pockets. And she just kept selling the same books over and over. Here's someone named Colin Campbell. Pew's personal inventory of Healthy Holly books never exceeded 8,216 copies, prosecutors say, but through a three-dimensional scheme, they say she was able to resell 132,116 copies for a total of $859,960. That's according to the Baltimore Sun. And how did she get away with selling and reselling the same books? Well, simple. Most buyers wouldn't bother to actually take possession of them because there never were really any books. They were just markers for grabs. And so Holly Pugh, the former Baltimore mayor, is going to prison for 5 years. Now, her scam of over $800,000 gets her 5 years in prison. But they want to send Roger Stone to prison for 7 to 9 years. Oh, wait. That was the 4 Democratic lawyers, if you're paying attention. Play with me at home if you're here. By the way, it's great to have the few of you here. I know I don't normally stream at this time, but welcome to the show. Let's see what else I got. I just got, again, this is kind of random stuff that I just pulled out of the ether, so to speak. Here we can go there. This morning we were talking about the case against Roger Stone. This of which, we mentioned that a little bit earlier just now. I was telling you about Mike Cernovich finding all these this interesting information about the foreman on that jury. Goodbye, creepy porn lawyer. Yes, he's gone. He's going to be gone for a while. And the two other cases, I think they got him dead to rights too. It's going to be really interesting to see how many years creepy porn lawyer gets for his escapades. I mean, look, just that case of extortion of Nike, of trying to extort $25 million from Nike, at least between 20 and 40 years, I would guess, in prison. Hey, let me ask you a question. Do you think Michael Avenatti has a chance at a presidential pardon? Oh, hello, dog. Speaking of Lucky, my Lucky dog's right next to me right now. I usually don't let her in here when I'm streaming in the morning, but she's right here, right next to me. Hello, baby. Hi. Oh, and Clifford came too. Both my dogs. Okay, get out. It's time to get out. We don't need to play with the dogs. Let's see. Somebody asked me a question. Where was that? Hey, PDawg, what's the name of the service you use for music for these? Sorry if you mentioned previous. I use Epidemic Sound. Has hundreds, thousands of titles music-wise. I think most of it's produced in Amsterdam, but it's all copyright free. And then they also have like thousands of sound effects you can use. Although I don't use a lot of their sound effects. I use a few for different things. But anyway, that. Hope that helps you out. It's I like it just because I've never had any copyright issues with any of the background music I use, and also for my theme song, I found that there, and my outro song. Those are both from Epidemic Sound. So, all right, back to Mike Cernovich. So Cernovich has found the foreman of the jury for Roger Stone's case has some issues that perhaps, just perhaps, the judge didn't know about. And clearly, at least on the forms that she signed to be a part of this jury. Now, the defense for Roger Stone had already marked this woman to be removed as part of the jury. And the judge, Amy, whatever her name is, said, nope, we're not letting you get rid of this one. Hello, RVA, how you doing? Wouldn't let you get rid of this one. But now they're finding out maybe, well, shut up. We're thinking out some new stuff about this juror. Why are you barking? Shut up. No, quiet. All right. So anyway, here, let me get this on a page where you can see. So, Mike Cernovich, the biased forewoman, told the court she didn't remember who Roger Stone even was. But her Twitter timeline says otherwise. Lovely. But there are no rules for Democrats. It's Thunderdome. Tweets from Cernovich below. Tucker talked about this last night. Andrew Napolitano, no friend of Trump, says that this foreman must have hidden her bias. So here's some of the tweets from Cernovich. I'll click them and go over to them as we're doing this. Again, this is Jay Wolf. In the tone of soup Nazi from Seinfeld. No pardon for you, Michael. Hell no pardon for you, Michael. So here, sorry. Under oath, the jury foreman in the Roger Stone case testified that she had no recollection of who Roger Stone was. Well, interesting, because Miss Tamika Hart retweeted Bakari Sellers, who was talking about Roger Stone. So she must have known something about him. Roger Stone has y'all talking about reviewing use of force guidelines. Not all, certainly not Aaron Gardner, not Walter Scott, not Sergeant Bland, not Keith Lamont Scott, not Philando Castile, not Terrence Crutcher, not Dontre Hamilton. Okay, I can see the hell. Okay, I understand the sentiment here from Bakari Sellers, but Tamika Hart, who cannot recall who Roger Stone is, retweeted this? But Roger Stone, think about that. Also, here's the questionnaire from the court. This is the transcript. The court says, what is it that you have read or heard about him? Prospective juror. So nothing that I can recall specifically. I do watch sometimes, paying attention, but sometimes in the background, CNN. So I recall just hearing about him being a part of the campaign, or some belief or reporting around interaction with the Russian probe and interaction with him and people in the country, but I don't have a whole lot of details. I don't pay that close attention, or I watch C-SPAN. Now, remember, this is also a woman who ran for Congress in the state of Tennessee, supposedly having some, knowledge of something. I don't know. So anyway, great. YouTube didn't notify you were streaming. Would not have known. Is Snoot did not mention? Well, I did. Yeah, Snoot didn't mention it because I didn't tell Snoot. I didn't tell anybody. This is just totally impromptu. I did tweet it out. The whatchamacallit, the notifications sometimes go out kind of slow. So anyway, back to Cernovich. Also, Donald Trump Jr. Tweeted about this. The jury should get the same treatment that anyone else deemed a Trump supporter would get for committing perjury, because she did. But we all know that won't happen, don't we? Consequences only go one way. Here's the Tucker clip, though, where Judge Napolitano talks about this. We'll make this, here, there we go. We'll just do it like this.
About Roger Stone. Judge, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Is it, in your view, a problem that the foreman of the jury in Roger Stone's trial turned out to be a former Democratic congressional candidate who attacked Trump on Twitter and mocked concern, I think most critically, about the FBI raid on Stone's house? Why was someone like this allowed to remain on the jury?
Because she's a Democrat. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll let Judge Napolitano answer. My dog's name is Lucky, thus the name Lucky Dog Productions. That's and she's Clifford. I have two dogs, Lucky and Clifford. Clifford's the avatar on StreamYards. Lucky's my avatar on YouTube.
Let me start by telling you I'm happy to be here with you. And Roger Stone and I have been friends for about 40 years. I'm going to take the friendship equation out of this and wear my judicial hat. This is information that she must have hidden from the lawyers and the judge who interrogated her before she was put on the jury. Now, in federal court, judges pick the jurors, so judges do the interrogation. Right. The lawyers sign off ahead of time on the questions the judges are going to ask. The purpose of the interrogation is to weed out people that have a bias, prejudice, knowledge of the case, or interest in the outcome. She obviously had a prejudice against Roger Stone, a bias in favor of his prosecution, and an interest in seeing him convicted. That should automatically disqualify her. Now, what do you do when you discover this after the conviction, Tucker? The proper thing for the judge to do is to bring this juror back in the courtroom in the presence of Roger Stone and his lawyers, and in the presence of the 4 prosecutors who have since resigned, because their resignations are not effective until she, the trial judge, accepts them.
Now, that is an interesting twist here. They have submitted their resignations from the case. Now, not all of them have resigned from the Justice Department. I think 2 of the 4 have resigned from the Justice Department. All have resigned from the case. But the judge doesn't necessarily have to accept their resignation from the case and could force them to come back as far as this woman and having to go in front of the prosecution, the defense, and the judge to find out why this woman maybe she just lied to them. I just got to figure she lied, right? She had to have. She doesn't know anything about Roger Stone. She knew everything about Roger Stone. And she has a prolific record of tweeting anti-Trump stuff too. But she began, as soon as this started coming out, she began scrubbing her social media profile. Anyway, let me continue this real quick.
And interrogate this woman in order to determine whether the bias influenced her guilty vote and whether that bias was passed on to other members of the jury.
And you know what? So she probably had a preconceived bias and notion of what she was going to do about this case. I think she wanted to be on this case because she hates Trump. if we can't hurt Trump, we're going to hurt everyone around him, right? And Roger Stone's not a good guy. I'm not saying that he's a good guy here, but in any case.
So that's interesting. That sounds, from a layman's perspective, like the right thing to do. Though, I mean, the court screens for bias, of course, in jury selection. If it turned out that this juror who ran the jury as the foreman lied about her background or her views, what would that mean?
Well, it would be catastrophic for her. First of all, she's a lawyer, so she would be prosecuted for perjury since the statements are given under oath. And if convicted, she'd lose her license to practice law. That would be the least of her concerns.
Interesting. I forgot that I've listened to this more than once, but I forgot that she's a lawyer too. She's in trouble. She's in serious trouble. Just let's put it that way.
She probably would serve jail time if she lied in order to affect the outcome of a case. And if she did lie, if the judge concluded she lied, Tucker, that is an automatic vacation of the conviction and an order for a new trial if the government even wants to try Stone a second time.
So Judge Amy Berman Jackson has kept Roger Stone under a gag order for many months now. He makes his living by speaking. Of course, he's now broke as a result. I'm confused. We can go on television and attack Roger Stone. CNN does it all day long. They did it all day today. Roger Stone is not allowed to defend himself using the First Amendment rights the rest of us enjoy. How is that allowed in this country?
It is highly inappropriate and a direct violation of the First Amendment. There is at least an argument to be made about restraining both the defendants and the prosecutors from making statements about the case while it's pending, because those statements might make their way to the jury. That's an extra courtroom way of communicating with the jury, and I hated having to do it, but there are sometimes that's the only way you can assure the integrity of the trial. But there is zero benefit to be served to the justice system in silencing a defendant after he's been convicted. Once conviction comes down, or acquittal, as the case may be, the defendant resumes the full panoply of First Amendment rights that he had before the case started.
Yeah,
you would certainly think. And finally, the
sounds like they're not going to. Well, she tried to put a gag order on it.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Is it, in your view, a problem
if she lied in order to affect the outcome of a case?
All day long, they did it all day today.
Both the making. And I hated having to do it, but there are sometimes that's the only way you can assure.
That was the end of it. Okay. Yeah, that was the first thing I thought. As soon as I started seeing this stuff from Cernovich, I was thinking, oh my God, this is going to be a mistrial. And then that's going to get even messier because the Attorney General William Barr is already going to testify in front of Congress, the Judiciary Committee, regarding this matter because of the change in recommendation for sentencing, not the change of sentencing, but the change of recommendation for sentencing, which the judge has all the power there anyway. The judge does the sentencing. By the way, hi Francis Lancer, I do see you there. Good evening, and hello Pencalo, what's up, my man? So yeah, it's just talk about a shit show. Talk about just an incredible shit show. Let's see here. Let's do a refresh here. I got a couple other things. So now I know a lot of you are familiar with Jordan Peterson. But if you're not, here's what's going on with Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is recovering from addiction after nearly dying in a Russian detox hospital. Here's the article from Hot Air. There's a couple of ones out here. Jordan Peterson's daughter, Michaela, posted a video online last week offering an update on her father's health. The video outlines his growing addiction to benzodiazepine, a tranquilizer which is sold under dozens of different names, including Xanax and Valium. Michaela said Peterson was initially prescribed the medication for anxiety several years ago, but when his wife was diagnosed with cancer last year, his use increased and he became addicted. That eventually led to a medical crisis, which Peterson barely survived. She stated, for the last 8 months, he's been in unbearable discomfort from this drug, made worse when trying to remove it because of the addition of withdrawal symptoms stemming from physical dependence. He experienced terrible akathisia, which is a condition where the person feels an incredible, endless, irresistible restlessness bordering on panic and an inability to sit still. The reaction made him suicidal. After failed treatment attempts in North America hospitals, including attempts at tapering and micro-tapering, we had to seek an emergency medical benzodiazepine detox, which we were only able to find in Russia. It was incredibly grueling and was further complicated by severe pneumonia, which we've been told he developed in one of the previous hospitals. He had had to spend 4 weeks in the ICU in terrible shape, but with the help of some extremely competent and courageous doctors, he survived. The decision to bring him to Russia was made in extreme desperation when we couldn't find any better option. The uncertainty around his recovery has been one of the most difficult and scary experiences we've ever had. So that's Michaela talking about her father. Michaela told the national press that Peterson nearly died several times. She also said he had been placed in a medically induced coma in order to detox from the drug. There's some good news, which is that he's now recovering and has regained his sense of humor, but she also said he's currently unable to type or walk without assistance. So he's going through a really rough time, okay? And there's the video. You probably can find that video on YouTube. Well, apparently the ghouls out there are kind of celebrating Jordan Peterson's difficult times. Now, here's the thing. A lot of them are saying, oh, well, what happened to your 10 rules or whatever for a good life or whatever this book's called? And it's like, Jordan Peterson always has been one who said, you know what, if you need medical help, if you need medical, drugs to help you with certain symptoms that your doctor prescribes, by all means, get on them. Okay, but still, people are acting like ghouls. Here, let me click this here. My apologies here. So, while Peterson diehard fans and ardent critics are at each other's proverbial throats on social media, they are flip sides of the same basic post-Christian phenomenon. Here, hang on a second here. Ironically, the anti-Petersons now seem far more fanatical than Peterson's most faithful fans. This guy must have himself been a liberal, because that's not irony. That's exactly what you expect. Social justice warriors are mentally ill and malicious people who self-medicate with hate. That's Ace speaking here. This is like saying, ironically, it turned out Hitler was more intolerant than you'd expect. And yes, the anti-Peterson fanatics, in fact, are evil lunatics. This became clear in recent days when some of Peterson critics, including, amazingly, a professor at the University of Ottawa, went online to express satisfaction that Peterson is being treated for dependence on benzodiazepine, an anti-anxiety medication. It was a shockingly ghoulish response. It was also comically hypercritical, given that these are the same people who typically spend much of their waking lives boasting publicly of their commitment to social justice, and who insist on using the language of genocide to describe acts of misgendering or cultural appropriation. All cults dehumanize their critics and perceived enemies, and the self-described social justice proponents who regard Peterson as a secular demon are no different. So the Spectator cataloged the hatred of the compassion Gestapo. That's funny. One social media user named Emily Gosernsky tweeted a link to an article with the headline, "He nearly died several times," alongside her own commentary. "Look how much it sucks to be a bigot when not being a bigot is free," adding, "We narrowly missed the first case of they pronouns killing someone. And imagine name-searching Jordan Peterson, who died when he was crushed by a falling pronoun. Oh, isn't that sweet?" In other words, she was joking about Peterson's near death, conveying that she felt gleeful at the possibility he might suffer and die. Another Twitter user named Alexander, who had the words anti-fascist and they them in his bio, wrote, quote, Jordan Peterson is a charlatan, a misogynist, and a grifter who got rich poisoning the minds of young men, acting as both the Trojan horse and an open gate for alt-right neo-fascism. You're fascist. The only thing regrettable about his current situation is that there isn't a hell for him to go to. A philosophy professor at the University of Virginia tweeted, "Me, a disabled vegan, feminist philosopher, reading the news stories about Jordan Peterson while strongly committed to the idea that everyone deserves compassion and illness should never be mocked," alongside a gif of a boy saying, "Is this a test?" The implication is that she believed Peterson's struggle should be mocked. The list goes on. So anyway, no shocker that the conveyors of compassion and holiness are being some of the biggest assholes on the internet. Anyway, I've seen that a lot on people on the internet just ripping Jordan Peterson to shreds. So again, like I said, this is kind of an impromptu show, by the way. And by the way, thank you, Peter Allman, for tweeting out the show if you're here. What was the other thing? There's a couple other funny things that I saw today. And here more. By the way, a little more Michael Avenatti. Just some memories. I might be going back and forth to Michael Avenatti. Yes, here's Michael Avenatti with April Ryan and Don Lemon. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. That's not Don Lemon. That is Worst Journalist of the Year, Don Lemon, Worst Journalist of the Year. A la John Ward, if you're familiar with John Ward. Oh, there he is with Scaramucci. Oh God, the audio. Wait, what? Oh, did you get the story I tagged you on? Oh yeah, no, I think so. Well, let me check. I did that one this morning. I'll go back to it. Hang on. And Kathy Griffin. Oh, you can't even see these. Duh. Here, let's go back. There he is with Kathy Griffin. Here he is with Scaramucci. Here's Avenatti with Worst Journalist of the Year. Don Lemon, Worst Journalist of the Year. And with April Ryan. Everybody's favorite crew. This is like, it's Michael. You know what? I think next week we should dedicate entirely to Michael Avenatti. I have that feeling, you know? All right. Oh God, the audio. What's wrong with the audio? Is my audio really bad? I'm not sure what that means. I definitely need to get some whatchamacallit. I need to get a different microphone setup. Okay, I just can't control it. Let's see. You did the story I tagged you in tonight. This morning? Oh, well, maybe not. Let me see. I'll check. Let me check the hashtag here. Is it on the hashtag there? PDK News is my hashtag. If you ever want to have news stories you want me to see, put the hashtag PDK News. Oh, the thruple. Are you talking about the thruples? Is that what you're talking about? That was this morning. I did the. Let's see. Unless you tagged me personally, the audio of a clip by for a second. Then it'll get back to normal. Oh, okay. Every so often, you have an audio spike for a couple words worth. Okay, yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble controlling the sound on this. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. Yeah, this morning, Pincalo, are you talking about the HGTV thruple? If you guys didn't see the story this morning, here, I'll just jump into it anyway. HGTV House Hunters, first ever thruple. What is a thruple? Oh, audio's getting very loud and plays in one side only, happens for a bit. Oh, no, I did not see a coronavirus related thing. I did the thruple. HGTV did a story of a throuple looking for a house. There's the throuple. As in a married couple and their third. Well, I don't know. Let me see. Let me check. Here, we'll check the notifications. Let's do that. Like I said, this is an impromptu show. Anything could happen. I don't know. I don't know if I did anything, if I'm getting anything right. Let's see here. No, Pincalo, I am not seeing anything in my mentions or on the hashtag. So no, sorry about that. If you want to resend it or put it in the hashtag or whatever, you can do that. Unless did you send it by message? No. No, I'm not. I don't have anything. It's in direct messages. No, I do not have a DM from you. So maybe you can send it again, or I don't know. All right. Let's see what else I got. I was gonna check the old Twitter trends while we're doing this. What you do evening to? Well, occasionally. Hello, Gen T, by the way. And I didn't even say hi, Piccolo, or hi, Gazira Lane, or maybe I did. I don't know. Oh, guess what? Michael Avenatti's on the top of trends today on the he's the header on the Twitter trends. Michael Avenatti convicted of trying to extort Nike. Let's just go. I want to check this out anyway. Let's see if there's any. Oh, Lucky, shut up. Let's see, Michael Avenatti. Let's just see what people are tweeting about this. Strange how a threesome is strong and brave for HGTV, but Joanna and Chip's Gainsers' Christian values are worth a call to take down their show. I know. It's almost comical. Let's see, Stephen Brown, Michael Avenatti guilty on all counts in the Nike extortion trial. Michael Avenatti made a sign of the cross before the verdict was read. God ain't gonna help you now, brother. Oh, disgraced lawyer Michael Avenatti has been found guilty on all 3 counts of extortion at the Nike trial. Here, let's go. Now I see I got the DM here, Pincalo. Let's check this out right now. Just laughing my ass. Okay, let's see here. Oh, are you talking about? No, that's from December 4th. World of Science 1 hour ago. Okay, this is okay. So everyone's dealing with coronavirus in their own way. In China, the number of cases, who knows how many there really are. There's been over 1,000 deaths. There's been all kinds of problems. So here's an article from World and Science. Thank you, Pincalo, for this one. How do I know if I have coronavirus? 5 questions answered. Let's check this one out. As it loads. Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, this is going to need a full screen. Here we go. How do I know if I might have coronavirus? 5 questions answered. The coronavirus has spread to locations outside China, and there is a lot of misinformation going around. What symptoms should I look for? Okay, they need an editor. What are the largest factors? What should I do if I think I have contacted the coronavirus? Catherine Paulus will clear up some of these questions for you in this article. Okay, so this is by Catherine Paulus, Associate Professor of Medicine, Infectious Diseases at Penn State University, a fine university. Also, the music's about 1 point in front of you on the live feed. Okay, well, we'll turn that down. What is going on with my sound? I had no problems with this morning. We'll turn it down just a bit. Good morning, Cannibal Caretaker. What's up, Boomer? Yeah, that would be me. Okay. So here we go. With the coronavirus now in the U.S., am I at risk? Answer. The biggest factor for being infected with the new coronavirus are travel to China, particularly Wuhan and other areas of Hubei province, and close contact with a person who has a suspected or confirmed nCoV case. Without those risk factors, the chance for the general American public of catching the virus is low. However, the outbreak is rapidly changing and it is unclear how the situation in the U.S. will evolve in the coming weeks. I'll tell you what, one person who's been on top of coronavirus the most has been Sticks Hexenhammer 666. He does an update every day on how many new cases, how many people are dead, what they're reporting, where it's hitting in new cities, all that stuff. Hey, bud, and we're all going to die. Thank you, Big Chief. Big Chief Fuzzy. and Becca Farley, hello. What are the symptoms of 2019 nCoV, also known as coronavirus? Most cases of coronavirus have had fever and signs of pneumonia and coughing constantly. Oh, that'd be me. Or shortness of breath. In some cases, people are not able to breathe on their own and require the use of a ventilator. A small percentage of people die. What should I do if I have any of these symptoms? Run screaming, set your hair on fire, and no, that's not what it says. It says, if you experience any of these symptoms within 14 days of travel to China or within 14 days of coming in close contact with an individual infected with the coronavirus, you should immediately call your healthcare provider. It is best to call ahead before going to a clinic or emergency room. Your healthcare provider will evaluate you with the help of your state's public health department and the federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. If your travel history and reported symptoms fit with the coronavirus infection, you may be tested for the virus. Right now, that test can be performed only at the CDC, so your health provider would send samples to the CDC for testing. What else could it be? Hello, Maniac Man. What else could it be? At this time of the year, many respiratory viruses are circulating in the community, including influenza, RSV, rhinovirus, and human coronaviruses, which are different from the 2019 coronavirus. It is much more likely that you have one of these other viruses than the 2019 coronavirus, even if you've traveled to China. Whoa. Wait 1 second there. So there are other coronaviruses? Well, there's Corona Light, there's Corona... Okay, no, it's not. Yes, there are 4 human coronaviruses that circulate each year in the United States. They cause 10% to 30% of upper respiratory tract illnesses in the U.S. and mild symptoms akin to the common cold. Healthcare labs can test for these coronaviruses, but not for the 2019 coronavirus. So, there is your coronavirus update from the dog. Thank you, courtesy of Pincalo, the driving ape man. So it's, that's very interesting. I got a case of Corona. It was at the beer store. I don't know if I'm going to die or not. It's funny because this joke is probably old by now, but what goes with a case of coronavirus? Lyme's disease. Uncle Bobbity, I stopped eating Chinese food some time ago. I ain't getting it unless it infects moonshine and Mexican food. Hey, I feel ya. If it's not my locally distilled bourbon, locally distilled, by the way, I'm probably not gonna get it. All right, let's see what else we got. What else do we have here? Let's check out what's going on Twitter. Thank you, by the way, Becca Farley and Grill and Pirate Pete, for also tweeting out the current stream. Also, by the way, if you're not here normally, I normally stream Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central for the Morning Night Live. My show is Monday through Friday. I've been doing that for just over a year, and I pretty much do it. I don't miss it very often. So if you get a chance, come check it out in the morning. Like I said, every Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. Looking at what's trending on Twitter. Yeah, I've had a couple of cough for the last 14 years. Yeah, I think my cough is just from the bad air I breathe in at UPS all the time. Oh, hello, Silly Toys. How you doing? They changed the name of the virus to suggest that it's not that bad. Seriously, it's not. Right? Okay, so let's see. Things trending on Twitter right now. NBA All-Star Weekend. I'm not... I mean, not that I don't like... I love basketball. I coach basketball, but... shut up, dogs. Let's see. Also, McCabe is trending. Oh, yeah, Andrew McCabe. Let's talk a little bit about Andrew McCabe. And I got a theory on Andrew McCabe, by the way. Press F for Nick Fuentes. Yeah, Nick Fuentes got yeeted from YouTube. Let's get into Andrew McCabe real quick, though, before I go to that. So, let's see here. Judge Reggie Walton told the McCabe prosecutors, the public is listening. I don't think people like the fact that you got somebody at the top basically trying to dictate whether somebody should be prosecuted. I just think it's a banana republic when we go down that road. Okay. Oh, the deal. Okay, here we go. Josh Gerstein writes, the DOJ decision to drop McCabe probe came on the deadline to release docs in a related FOIA case. They showed the judge said he feared Trump comments about McCabe prosecution were turning U.S. into a banana republic. Okay, so here's the Political article. So anyway, here's the deal. They didn't drop any charges against Andrew McCabe. They declined to prosecute Andrew McCabe on some of the most minor charges that they've been talking about. Doesn't mean that he'll never get. I think the sounds were caused by dog bars because they seem to coincide. Okay, yeah, my dog just won't shut the hell up. But now she's in the other room. Okay. Also, thank you, Johnny Hellcat. By the way. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Here's the Political article trying to load. DOJ drops probe into former Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. Now McCabe is kind of McCabe still got fired for a reason. Okay, because it was recommended that he'd been fired. Doesn't mean that he didn't do anything wrong. It just means the Justice Department is going to abandon its effort to seek criminal charges. That's exactly how the article starts. The Justice Department has decided to abandon its efforts to seek criminal charges against former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, according to a letter sent to his attorneys. McCabe's lawyers were told last September that he should expect to be indicted on charges stemming from inaccurate statements he made to FBI investigators about his actions around the time of the 2016 election. However, no indictment was ever returned, leading to speculation that the Washington-based grand jury probing the matter took the rare step of rejecting charges. Rare step. Because he did lie to... he did what they said he did. Prosecutors had been cagey since that time about the status of the investigation into McCabe, who has been a frequent subject of public attacks from President Donald Trump. In theory, they could have presented the case to another grand jury, but on Friday, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington informed McCabe attorneys that it was giving up its quest to charge the FBI veteran. Now, here's the other part, though. Remember a while back when they were talking about this subject? Yeah, FTG for McCabe, absolutely. Feel free to give him an FTG. Remember a while back when him and McComey were kind of going back and forth about who did what and who told people to do what not? And McCabe said that he would be willing to testify against James Comey. I'm still wondering if that's the case. If the reason they decided not to pursue these charges is because his lawyers said he would cooperate. You know what, folks? Give me 1 second. I need to take a short moment here. I'm going to pause. I'll be right back. PDawgs. Okay. I'm so baked. I was wondering why there's elevator music playing. All right, there you go. Yes, someone was going outside for a bit, namely my dogs. So annoying. Anyway, all right. Back to Mr. McCabe. Hang on. So McCabe expressed great relief at the decision, but sounded bitter about the probe hanging over him and his family for years. Oh, really? You know, gosh, I note that my tears of frustration and angst for you, Andrew McCabe. Imagine how some of the people that you've been, you and the FBI have been harassing for the last, at least the last 3 years, right? I have to say that as glad as I am that the Justice Department and the DC U.S. Attorney's Office finally decided to do the right thing today, it is an absolute disgrace that they took 2 years and put my family through this experience for 2 years before they finally drew the obvious conclusion, and one they could have drawn a long, long time ago, he said on CNN, where he serves as a paid commentator. McCabe's attorney also welcomed the development, which they said they first learned about Friday morning in a phone call from the prosecution after months of silence about the status of the probe. Here's the thing, too. This is one of those things. When I said, Trump needs to put his iPhone down, I think him spending so much time talking about all these people, cases that are pending, makes it almost impossible, like the Attorney General said today, makes it hard for him to do his job, because now anyone they prosecute that Trump constantly talks about, they are going to say, well, this is a political hit job. And even though these guys are just dirtbags. So anyway, McCabe's attorneys also welcomed the development, which is said, at long last, justice has been done in the matter, attorney Michael Bromwich and David Shurtler said in a statement. We said at the outset of the criminal investigation almost 2 years ago that if the facts and the law determine the result, no charges would be brought. We are pleased that Andrew McCabe and his family can go on with their lives without this cloud hanging over him. Yeah, he still lied. It doesn't change the fact that he lied. The confirmation of a formal end to criminal investigation into McCabe's conduct came amid a highly public tug-of-war between Trump and the Justice Department over the handling of cases and investigations he has taken a keen interest in. The development also comes just one day after an extraordinary interview in which Attorney General William Barr openly rebuked the president for his frequent attacks on the works of federal prosecutors. McCabe said Friday he was concerned that the president's recent fusillade of attacks against federal prosecutors could drag out his case even further. Certainly the president's kind of revenge tirade following his acquittal in the impeachment proceedings has only kind of amplified my concerns about what would happen in my own case, McCabe said on CNN. The timing this week coming on the tails of all the controversy over the Roger Stone sentencing is curious. Trump seems certain to view the abandonment of the McCabe probe as another provocation from justice and more proof of a deep state cabal. They're working to undercut the president's allies and its enemies. When a jury convicted longtime Trump confidant Roger Stone last November of lying to Congress and obstructing investigations into ties between the Trump campaign and Russia, Trump invoked justice's failure to charge McCabe as evidence of a double standard, which it is. So now they convict Roger Stone of lying and want him in jail for many years to come, Trump wrote. Well, what about Crooked Hickory? What about Crooked Hillary, Comey, Strzok, Page, McCabe, Brendan Clapper, Shifty Schiff, or Nellie Steele, and all the others, even Mueller himself? Didn't they lie? Yes. Did all of them lie? I don't know. Well, Mueller even had contradictions when he testified in front of Congress, but that's a whole nother story. After more than 20 years at the FBI, McCabe was fired in 2018 following findings by the Justice Department Inspector General and the FBI's Office of Professional Responsibility that he displayed a lack of candor, which is FBI speak for he lied. in his dealings with internal investigators and top Justice Department official. The Justice Department watchdog report released in April 2018 found McCabe was not forthcoming with former director James Comey and with FBI investigators about McCabe's involvement in the FBI's handling of media inquiries about an FBI probe into the Clinton Foundation during the 2016 campaign. The Inspector General report said McCabe led Comey to believe he did not authorize disclosing that politically sensitive investigation, and that McCabe affirmatively denied any role in that to internal FBI investigators. In other words, McCabe was a leaky bitch. Okay, that's the bottom line. He was a leaky bitch. McCabe denied any intentional effort to mislead, but said he was preoccupied with other weighty matters at the time and may have failed to remember some of the conversations. Whatever. Anyway, McCabe lied. He got away with it, and I think maybe, just maybe, he still maybe on the kind of docket to testify if James Comey gets charged. So here's hoping. But now, I don't have any faith in this process anymore. Clearly, if you're on the right, you get prosecuted. If you're on the left, you get a rubbing of your hand. You get a rubbing of the back of your hand, and just gently, maybe they'll use some lotion and rub it in and make sure that your hands are smooth. But boy, they just don't seem to want to go after those guys the way they went after some of Trump's people, and it's really annoying. So anyway, so he's trending number 2 on Twitter right now. Still, now, oh wow, there's a big shakeup on what's trending on Twitter. Darius Miles. Who is Darius Miles? Oh, Darius Miles mic'd up during a Celebrity All-Star game. Said, beat that shit up. Okay. So, the NBA is having the Celebrity All-Star game. And apparently there's a gentleman named Darius Miles who I've never heard of. But here he is mic'd up at the Celebrity All-Star game.
Beat that shit up. Okay, well, I understand. You got to do what you got to do.
Beat that shit up. Okay.
Darius Miles, ladies and gentlemen.
Way to go, Darius Miles. Okay, he's trending number 1 for that, though. So at least it gets you some notoriety. Trending number 2, NBA All-Star Weekend. BTS Tour, trending number 3, K-pop, Skip. Free Stuff Friday, Celebrity Game, Ronnie 2K, Avenatti still in the top trends here. HQ Trivia. Let's go HQ Trivia. Let's try this one. Let's try this. You'll see tweets, people, and events, and ads about this. Just like accounts, the ones you follow appear in your profile. News, HQ is ceasing operations today. Oh! CNN Business has learned the company behind the once popular game HQ Trivia is no more. So if you play HQ Trivia, game over. Okay, that's why that's trending. Okay, what else is going on Twitter here? Why is Team Snapchat trending? Now we use Team Snapchat. No, we don't. Is it Team Snap? It's like an app we use for our basketball teams. Me waiting for Team Snapchat to wish me happy Valentine's Day. Okay, this is a Valentine's related trend, and I don't think not even a Valentine's Day message from Team Snapchat this year. Oh, when Team Snapchat sends you that message, okay, not knowing what any of that means. So apparently Team Snapchat usually sends out a Valentine's Day message, and this year they didn't, and some people, that's the only Valentine's message they get. Oh, that is so sad. That is so sad. Let's see. Nothing else is interesting on here. Cody Bellinger, Bill de Blasio is trending. That should give me some good yucks. Let's see why Bill de Blasio is trending. Okay, so this is Michael Tracy saying Bill de Blasio is a bit of a doofus, but his endorsement of Bernie is pretty significant. First former presidential candidate to do so. Also, he's the mayor of New York City, so it's an obviously timed dig at Bloomberg. So, Bill de Blasio has endorsed Bernie Sanders. Let's see. Let's read the CNN article here. Okay, come on, computer. I don't know why my super fast internet is not being so super fast today. But anyway, Bill de Blasio endorses Bernie Sanders for president. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio endorsed Bernie Sanders in the 2020 presidential race, the Vermont senator's campaign said on Friday. De Blasio, who's set to campaign with Sanders in Nevada ahead of the caucuses there, became the first former 2020 contender to back Sanders. He'll join Sanders at a rally on Sunday in Carson City. Mayor Bill de Blasio, let's see. Oh, here, Sanders. Mayor Bill de Blasio knows that the only way we can defeat Donald Trump is by uniting the people from all backgrounds around an agenda that speaks to the needs of working families. Sanders said in a statement to CNN, Jade and I grew up in Brooklyn, and we are proud to have the support of New York City Mayor fighting every day to improve the lives of New Yorkers. Oh my God. No. Bill de Blasio is a terrible mayor, and he should be fired. Bill is a leading example of what bringing the Democratic Party together around so-called radical ideas like universal pre-K, paid family and sick leave, and defending immigrant neighbors can do for our country. Fuck off. The relationship between Sanders...
pony soldier.
There you go. The relationship between Sanders and de Blasio traces back further than the current election cycle. Sanders spoke at the mayor's second inauguration on New Year's Day in 2018. De Blasio's a communist too. Okay, I know communist is a strong word, but he's an ultra-progressive asshat who doesn't... let me just say something about Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, honest man, been consistent all his entire political career. Wow, this is really weird. It's still doing this with my microphone. It's been consistent his entire political career, but he's been wrong his entire political career. There's not enough money for everything he wants to do. Sorry, there's just not. Free college and forgive student loans and free health care and free daycare and free parental leave, and we'll pay. The government's going to pay for it all. We're going to take money from everybody else and we're going to give it to you, but they're going to take money from you too because there's not enough of those rich super billionaire guys. You could take everything they own right now and it wouldn't last a year in Bernie's budget. So hey. How about, and basically, what they're not telling you, okay? They're going to take a lot of money from everybody. And then they're going to give it back to you after they pay all the people they have to pay to control the money that they've taken from you. Get off my screen, Anderson Cooper. What the hell happened there? Get off my screen, Anderson Cooper. Holy shit. Hello, Faithless. I just see you. I see you popped in. Oh God. And de Blasio says, I'm standing with Bernie because he stands with working families and always has. Really? Well, guess what? When you start seeing how much money you can take away from the billionaires and they have to close down businesses and liquidate shit to do all the shit you want to do, and then those people that are working families no longer have jobs and have to get their everything from the government, and the cycle continues. Well, first of all, even if Bernie does become president, none of this shit's gonna pass. No one's gonna pass the stuff he's talking about. So he's going to be worthless. And guess what? He's not going to become the president. Okay? If Bernie is the nominee, and that's what the Democratic Party is worried about. Bernie becomes the nominee, then we have a real conversation about the difference between our current system and a socialist system. We haven't really tried real socialism yet. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. All right? Hey, Now, let me finish de Blasio's statement here. I'm standing with Bernie because he stands with working families and always has. New Yorkers know all too well the damage caused by Donald Trump's xenophobia, bigotry, and recklessness. And Bernie's a candidate to take him on and take him down. Wait a minute. Let's figure out what this damage you're talking about is. Because standing with working families means people are getting jobs. Their pay is rising. Is that the damage you're talking about? Let's see. Donald Trump's xenophobia, bigotry, and recklessness. What is really? Do you think working families are really into having illegal immigration? Okay, I don't think so. Probably not. I'm going to guess not. He continues. I have called for a bold, progressive agenda. And that's exactly what Senator Sanders has championed for decades. And guess what? How many things has he gotten passed in his progressive agenda in his decades in government? Bernie Sanders has never had a job other than being in Congress. He's never run a business. But he's been in Congress for however long the hell he has been in Congress. He's never met a payroll. He's never run a company. He's never done anything other than be in Congress. Wasn't he like unemployed when he ran for Congress the first time and got into Congress? So everything Bernie Sanders says is in theory. Okay? He doesn't know how much. He has no idea how much the things he's proposing are going to cost. There was an interview. I can't remember who it was with. I watched it. I don't know who it was with. I probably could find it if I really looked. But in the interview, they were asking, well, how much do you think this is? All these things you want to do is going to cost? And you know what his answer was? Do you know what his answer was? His answer was, nobody knows. What do you mean nobody knows? You're proposing it. Why don't you know, Bernie? You don't know what kind of a budget are you proposing for all these things that you are proposing? Where are you going to get the money? How much money do you think you can take away from all these billionaires, all those billionaires? There's not that many billionaires, first of all. And it's funny because you're not talking about taking money from millionaires. With an M, the millionaires. Remember that thing that you are? A millionaire? Because you sold some books? I don't hear you talking about taking money from millionaires. You seem to think that the billionaires are just you can just take all their money away from. Well, wait a minute, Bernie. You know that these billionaires, for those of you who haven't heard this analogy before, because there's a couple of you probably haven't, it's not like the billionaires are like the Scrooge McDucks and they have a giant warehouse just filled with gold coin and diamonds and cash that they swim in. No, the billionaires are billionaires on paper, meaning they may have equity in their company or property or whatever. It's not like they just have a bunch of money sitting in the warehouse that they're, like I said, they're not swimming in like Scrooge McDuck. Now, granted, I see that, for example, who's the guy, the Amazon guy, Jeff Bezos. His ex-wife is I think she's like the third richest person in the country because she's his ex-wife and she took half. Well, not exactly half. But I heard she just liquidated like $400 million in Amazon stock. So she has some cash on hand now. But these billionaires, it's not like they have cash on hand. It's like, and Elizabeth Warren was talking about having a wealth tax. You moron, a wealth tax? So you're going to tell someone who has a net worth on paper that we don't, you know how those net worths are always kind of a range? They're not an exact number. You can't go and say, well, this is exactly how much money this particular billionaire has. It's not even an exact science on the net worth of somebody. And it fluctuates from day to day depending on the stock market or on the value of their company or the value of their assets. So how are you going to calculate a wealth tax on all these billionaires? There's not that many. There's not enough billionaires to fund all this shit you want to do. So now you're going to have to dip into the millionaires. But there's probably not enough billionaires for all the stuff you want to do. So now you're going to have to dip into the people who have maybe $500,000. But there's not enough money in all the people who have $500,000. So now you're going to have to dip into the people who maybe make $100,000 a year. Everybody's taxes is going to go up. And Bernie has said that. He said, we know that everyone's taxes are going to have to go up. Great. But now you want to let anybody who wants to come into the country come in at free will because you think we should. I don't know. Sinatra Says did a video. I was just watching it. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen the video, but I haven't actually looked at the proposal. But the squad and some of those really super out there left progressives have proposed a bill where we're just going to let everyone just come into the country and have no penalties for no such thing as illegal border crossings. We're going to invite all the people we've deported back home, they say in the bill. And just basically make it just anyone can come, anyone can just come here to improve themselves. Well, wait a minute. You mean people who haven't lived here, we're going to just let them come across the border anytime they want without any vetting or anything? But we're going to start paying for all of their medical care, all their education, all their stuff. We're going to pay for everybody who haven't even paid into the system, but they're going to take it from the people who are already here, probably down well below $100,000 a year. For couples or families or whatever, even they're going to raise everybody's taxes, and now we're going to have to pay for all the new people who come here who haven't been putting it in the system. Inheritance taxes was talked about as well. Yeah, inheritance taxes, inheritance taxes. It's like you're taxing money that's already been taxed, but. And God forbid. Now, granted, they talk about these inheritance taxes, and usually it affects people because usually they don't kick in until somewhere like $5 million. But even then, if someone dies and has a family farm that may have 10,000 acres, they definitely have more than $5 million in inheritance. Or to hand down, so they want to tax that especially, but even then, pot and politics don't go together. Yes, Lindsay, you are correct. Good point, Uncle Bobby. Import a new base of guaranteed voters who won't question the DNC and not, because they're gonna get a bunch of free shit for coming here. We're gonna invite you to come in. We're not gonna have any restrictions on you coming back. This bill, what is it called? I gotta find that bill. I don't think it'll go anywhere. I don't even think there are still a few sane Democrats who are not going to go for some of these just way out there ideas. But it's good. This whole year is going to be interesting because the AOC wing of the Democratic Party feel fairly emboldened, and they're going out and primarying a lot of candidates just like AOC did, hoping that nobody's paying attention. I got a feeling that after our just little experience of having AOC and Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib and the squad, the squad, the Justice Democrat wing of the Democratic Party, I got a feeling some of the Democrats are like, say what? No, we're not having more of these. And it'd be interesting because someone's primarying the New Way Forward Act. Yeah, look that one up. The New Way Forward Act. That's scary. It's freaking scary. Just the oh my God. Maybe I'll do that Monday. The New Way Forward Act, where they're proposing that they're going to invite the people that have already been deported back, and the people coming here no longer. There'll be no more such thing as an illegal border crossing, and they're in fact not only bring them back, but for us to pay to bring them back so they can come home. Come home, it says. I'll have to show you that one. I watched Sinattra's video today. There was a couple features in Tucker Carlson recently. And there are Democrats supporting the bill. They don't have a lot yet, but it's very, very scary. Very scary. All right, tangent done. Let's see. Is there anything else in here? Anyway, Bill de Blasio, FTG. And you know what? It's kind of a shot. It is definitely a shot at Michael Bloomberg, who is trying to buy the Democratic nomination. Let's see. Bill de Blasio will be a helpful Sanders surrogate against Bloomberg. Against Bloomberg. There are people who want him to be against Bloomberg. Bloomberg once called de Blasio's campaign racist for using de Blasio's family in ads because de Blasio's wife and children are black. Also this, de Blasio, I've spent literally 6 years undoing what Michael Bloomberg did. Yeah, look, Michael Bloomberg's stop and frisk policy was unconstitutional. And Michael it's funny because Michael Bloomberg kind of coasted as New York City mayor as far as I'm concerned, because really New York City made a comeback when Giuliani was mayor. Giuliani's reputation was buoyed by 9/11. We'll say that. But you know what? I'm just no fan of any New York politicians. I call, it's funny because I call the president lovingly a jackass, but the jackass that we need. But it seems like all New York politicians are jackasses. Some are good jackasses, and some are bad jackasses. Bill de Blasio is a bad jackass. Okay. Anyway, so he's endorsing Bernie. I don't find that shocking at all. Bill de Blasio is a progressive, just knothead who just is really causing problems in New York City. The police really hate him. The police hate Bill de Blasio. In some way may have declared war on Bill de Blasio, so to speak. So lots of people excited, though, that de Blasio's feeling the burn. Yes, feel the burn, baby. Feel the burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno. All right, let's see. Delta CTO. Let's see. Now, did y'all notice there was a lot of talk on Twitter or on social media about reclining airline seats? What the hell? So apparently the Delta CEO of Delta Airlines has chimed in. Delta CEO says passengers should ask permission to recline seat. I think that's a good idea. Being, of course, now I'm 6'4", and I hate being in airplanes when someone tries to recline a seat in front of me. And usually, because my knees are already touching the seat, they aren't able to recline anyway. And if they try to recline it without asking me, good luck. I just don't let them do it. Delta CEO says passengers should ask permission to recline seat. This is a TMZ article, so you know it's informative. According to TMZ, if the passenger behind you declines, then don't recline. Well, this is pretty shocking. The head honcho at Delta seems to think the woman on the American Airlines flight who reclined her seat only to have the passenger behind her treat her seat back like a punching bag was out of line. Well, she kind of was if she didn't ask. You know what? Usually when I'm in an airplane and someone tries to recline their seat and realize that they're running into my knees, most of them apologize or saying, "Hey, can I recline my seat?" And if I don't care, I'll move my legs, or if I care, I don't. Although a lot of times, I paid the extra $100 to go in comfort class, just to have the extra 3 inches or 4 inches of leg room. So there are airlines that have that. Delta in particular has, and there's a couple other airlines where you're not paying for first class seats, but just for a few more inches of leg room. And at 6'4", and with my son being 6'6", and my wife being 5'10", we all need more leg room. We're just tall people. I can't help it. So that's just how it is. Reclining my seat. Uncle Bobbity with the reclining my seat, reclining my seat, reclining my seat, reclining my seat, reclaiming my vagina. Anyway, Delta CEO Ed Bastian appears on CNBC Squawk Box Friday, said it's an etiquette issue. If a passenger knows a tall person is sitting behind them, they should ask permission before they recline. Presumably, that means if a person declines, the passenger can't recline. If the person declines, the passenger can't recline. Yes, Gazira Lane, consent. You need consent. You need consent. That certainly is the way our users feel. By a 2-to-1 margin, they support the woman on the American Airlines jet who put her seat all the way back only to have the dude behind her attack the seat like a boxer in training. Now, I haven't seen this video, but here it is. Maybe. It may play eventually. I hit the play button. Okay, here it is from TMZ. He's punching your seat. Now, apparently, is she not noticing, or is she just? And this looks kind of like first class. There's plenty of room in first class for someone to recline their seat. Okay, he's just being a dick. Okay, now I think that is unnecessary. That is absolutely unnecessary. He has plenty of room. This looks like they're in first class. Anyway, of course, the counter argument to what Bastian believes is that the airline configures the plane so it should design it so people can recline without interfering with the person behind them. If that's not the case, it's on the airline. Well, guess what? That guy's a douchebag. You're right, Faithless. I agree. He could have just asked her nicely. Hey, say, ma'am, miss, you're reclining right into my legs. Can you put it up just a little bit? Just a little bit? That's what I would do. I would ask, can you put it up just a little bit? Yeah, right? But no. It looked like they were first class. So he still had plenty of room. That's what, it's not, believe me, as a person who's 6'4", who flies occasionally, and sometimes I'm not always in that comfort class. I know when the seat comes back too far because I either have to move my legs out into the aisles. Or the other thing, I always sit on an aisle seat so I can put one leg out, but then I always trip the flight attendant. So anyway, I don't know. You should be polite. You should be polite. Blow in her ear. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, so that looks kind of like it's it for the Twitter dump. Let's go back and check my aggregate. You know what? I'm gonna go to Bangino's site. Hang on a second here. There's got to be more. It's almost. I'm gonna go until 8 o'clock. Just FYI, in case you're wondering. Oh, hey, here's one. I forgot about this one. So, there have been an epidemic. There's an epidemic going on right now. An epidemic. I'm going to say it's an epidemic. Did my music... Oh, I see. Of Trump derangement syndrome. Trump derangement syndrome. Affectees attacking supporters of Donald Trump. The latest one is a Florida man story. Florida man attacks Trump supporter with a cane sword. Now, I had to look up what the hell a cane sword is because it didn't click in my head right away. Like those canes that have a sword that you pull out of the cane. Peaceful Florida citizens holding Trump signs were minding their own business in Dunedin, Florida last Thursday when a man rushed at them with a cane sword. Police arrested 49-year-old James Whitehurst and charged him with 10 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and 1 count of disorderly conduct, the Ocala Star-Banner reported. Victims reportedly told police that Whitehurst had approached them during their peaceful assembly. Jesus. Okay. Peaceful assembly with what was described as a cane sword. The assailant allegedly pointed the sword in their faces and made threatening statements, holding the blade 6 inches from their faces. Whitehurst confessed to having removed the sword from its holder and pointing it at the Trump supporters. He told police he meant no harm by the threatening action. Really? How do you know whether or not an action is threatening if it's a sharp blade in your face? I would consider that threatening. I'm threatening. I'm sorry. I had to look up cane sword, nerd cred loss. I know my nerd credibility wasn't working, but here's the thing. When I first read it, because you spelled like Abel and Cain and Abel. It's C-A-N-E. And when I saw it, I'm thinking Cain. Here was my first thought, okay? It's Florida. And I saw the word cane, and the first thing that came to mind was sugar cane. And I'm like, wait a minute. Sugar, that doesn't make sense. Cane sword, cane. It was just not working in my head. And so I used DuckDuckGo, put in the word cane sword, hit images, and I'm like, oh shit, what the hell? I know what a cane sword is. Anyway, the assault took place amid a flurry of new attacks on actual or perceived Trump supporters. On Saturday, a man crashed his van into a tent where Trump campaign volunteers were registering voters. The driver later confessed his animosity to Trump and compared the president as someone shitting on your grave. Earlier this week, a woman sucker punched a man in a New York City bar because he wore a MAGA-style hat reading, "Make 50 Great Again." It was his 50th birthday, and someone thought it would be cute to get him a "Make 50 Great Again." This woman attacked him and punched him, thinking it was a "Make America Great Again" hat. Good God, these people are messed up. But it's funny how the only places I'm seeing these stories are in conservative media. Could you imagine if there was a Bernie Sanders tent where people were registering people to vote and a Trump, someone in a MAGA hat, let's say someone in a MAGA hat decided to drive their car and attempt to run them over? Do you think that it would be on the CNN news cycle? Do you think it would be on the MSNBC news cycle, ABC, NBC, CBS, front page of the New York Times? Multiple attempted murder charges with the van. Yes, they charged him. And I not a word on CNN. Really? Huh. That's interesting. The attacks remind me of the assault against Minnesota State House candidate Shane Meekland. An angry man sucker punched him in the head in 2018 while accusing Meekland of not caring about the middle class. Meekland blamed Representative Maxine Waters, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and former Attorney General Eric Holder for instigating this kind of violence. They're constantly driving this narrative that it's okay to be violent against Trump people. Walters called for activists to harass, Waters, Maxine, anti-Maxine, reclaiming my vagina. Waters called for the activists to harass members of the Trump administration in public places like gas stations and restaurants. Senator Cory Booker encouraged activists to get up in the face of Republican candidates and office holders. Hillary Clinton said Democrats cannot be civil with a political party that wants to destroy what you stand for. And Eric Holder declared, when they go low, we kick them. Liberals who routinely demonize Trump and his supporters as fascists or Nazis, fostering this culture of animosity and fear. Americans must return to civility. That's Tyler O'Neill, a writer for PJ Media. Let's see what else I got. Let's see if there's anything else new up here. I'm kind of winding down, people. Unless you guys have any stories here. By the way, if you have any stories you want that I haven't touched on, you can do that at the hashtag PDK News. PDK News. Here, put that in the chat. NEWS. If you're on Twitter, also, or you can send me emails. PDawgKnight@gmail.com. I do take stories there. Also, just an FYI, the big thing down here that says PDawg Knight Live, that's my Streamlabs website where sometimes I'll update things we're going to be doing in the future. You can do donations and super chats through that. That site is in the description. Also, this show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and have your super chats read live on the show. You can click on the PDawgKnight.live link that is in the chat. Let's see if anything else news coming up. And then we might just get out of here because I'm running out of things to talk about. Well, there's always more. There's so much stuff that I didn't even do this morning. All right, so it looks like the same stuff here. Here, let's see. We'll go into the What's Happening tab. Yes, the Washington Post. All anti-Trump all the time. I'm going to read this headline. I'm not even going to read the damn story because I've never seen a positive Donald Trump story that comes from the Washington Post. Here's their headline. Trump's language is being used by kids to bully their classmates. That's such a typical freaking headline from the Washington Post. It's crazy. It's crazy. What? Oh, here's one from U.S. News. We'll put this one on the screen. Ex-Michigan State gymnastics coach found guilty of lying to investigators about Larry Nassar abuse. Kathy Cleggs was convicted on felony and misdemeanor counts of lying to authorities during their investigation into serial sexual abuser and former Michigan State University physician Larry Nassar. Cleggs could face up to 4 years in prison. Wow. That's wow. Goodness. Here's a thread on that from David Jesse, who's David Jesse? Is the free higher ed reporter covering Michigan universities. Okay, here it is. Former MSU gymnastics coach Kathy Cleggs convicted of lying to police in Nassar's investigation. The verdict makes Cleggs the second former MSU employee with ties to the convicted sex offender Larry Nassar to be found guilty of criminal charges. Last year, a jury convicted former College of Osteopathic Medicine Dean William Strample of misconduct in office related to his treatment of women and willful neglect of duty related to his failure to supervise Nassar after a 2014 sexual assault investigation. Strample is serving a year sentence in Ingham County Jail, though he's set to get out early for good behavior. Clegg's guilty on 2 counts of lying to a peace officer, a felony, and a high court misdemeanor. The felony charge is punishable by up to 4 years in prison and or a $5,000 fine. The misdemeanor charge is punishable by up to 2 years in prison and or a $5,000 fine. AG Dana Nessel says Ms. Clegg knew of Larry Nassar's sexual conduct, but neglected to tell investigators, Nessel said. She could and should have acted on complaints about Nassar decades ago. That is a failure on multiple levels, but none is more important than her failure to protect the young women who had the courage to speak up decades ago and the hundreds who became Nassar's victims after that. So, hey, put her ass in jail, keep Nassar's ass in jail, and the guy who's out for good conduct, you probably deserve to be there too. What else is happening? Let's see. Ancient Aliens airing on the History Channel. Yay. Zion Williamson. If you're familiar with Zion Williamson, and I don't do a lot of sports when I'm doing when I'm on the channel, especially on the Morning Night Live, but Zion Williamson is a pretty amazing phenomenon. Zion Williamson creates NBA history and sets a new career high in points. Zion continues to impress in his rookie season as he scored a career high 32 points in a loss to Oklahoma City. He is now the youngest player in NBA history to score 20 plus points in 6 consecutive games. He's an amazing young man, and boy, he's super smart. Man, I just love listening to him interview. He's so humble, but he's such a phenomenon. I got a feeling this guy is going to be a major superstar in the NBA. So good for Zion Williamson. Excited for his future career. Justice Department drops investigation into Andrew McCabe. We already did that. An MLS coach, Major League Soccer coach, steps aside as team investigates his alleged use of racial slur while reciting lyrics. God. Oh. So, let's see. Ron Jans has been temporarily removed from his head coach position with the football club of Cincinnati while the team investigates the circumstances of his alleged use of the N-word. According to reports, Jan was singing along to a song that used the term. Now, here is my take on this particular subject. And listen, let me just point this out. I happen to be black. Sometimes hard to tell with the lighting, but I am. But I don't speak for all black people because nobody speaks for all black people. There is a very, very wide variety of opinions on this topic. Okay? Me personally, I don't give a shit. Okay? Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it from anybody using it. I won't read it in my super chats. Okay, I don't appreciate it. I think people should respect me and whatnot when they're around me. But if someone's singing along with a popular song that has it in it, and the word comes up, I personally don't care. But here's my take. If you're a college kid and you're at Coachella and you're around thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and let's say that you're out there and you're with your friends and you're all in a big crowd, and some rappers on stage singing their song and the N-word comes through it. probably no big deal. Nobody around you. Probably everyone's partying, everyone's dancing. Even if there's black people in the crowd, most people aren't going to give a shit. However, if you're a coach in Major League Soccer, in the locker room, maybe curb that. Okay? Not because you're wrong. And I don't necessarily think you're in the wrong if you're just singing along with something subconsciously, not thinking about it, whatever. But there are people nowadays that are just going to give you shit. Okay? And if you're in a large urban area, maybe riding the bus, had your headphones on, listen to, some rapper that uses the word a lot, and you're white, I'd suggest you don't do it because the brothers on the bus aren't going to like it. Now, do I think it's wrong? I think it's at a double standard. Yeah, it is. But you got to be smart. You just do. You can't, I just say don't do it. Like I said, I don't care. I remember when my son would have his friends over and they were down in the basement and they're listening to songs and I'd hear that go up and I'm like, cringe. I would cringe hearing it. But it's in the song. I get it. But there are just people who don't get it or don't want to hear it. Okay? And particularly from anybody for whatever reason. I mean, I'm like, I just don't, personally, I just don't give a shit. But there are people who do, and you got to be aware of that. So I personally, I wish they would stop using the word in songs. But hey, if wishes were fishes, I would own Chicken of the Sea. So there you go. What happened to the powers that me just telling someone not to do whatever again rather than calling for their heads? I agree with you 100%, Prospero. I think they just need to say, instead of removing him from a head coaching position even temporarily, how about just say, you know what, please don't do that. Maybe apologize to whoever you offended and move on. I mean, come on. To me, it's just words, but it's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things that just got to be smart. Pitches get stitches. Okay. NHL player tries a different way of trying to get the puck back. Don't know about that. Wow, there's lots of sports things going on. I'm going to skip the sports stuff. Hey, hi, Prospero. I didn't realize that was you. And I'm like, oh, it's that's Prospero's avatar. How you doing? So anyway, hey, so anyone out there got anything in particular that they saw? I've got like 5 minutes. Tell you what, let's do this. I've got 5 minutes left because I'm gonna tune into Lords of the Night at 8 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock Eastern. Let's do this. Let's take questions. If you have any questions, I know there's not that many people left here, but I'm sure somebody has a question for me. Is there anything that you want me to bring up, or is there anything that you are interested in or want to know about me or my dogs? My dogs have quieted down. I think my dog, Lucky, just had to pee. Okay, my dog, that's why she was very restless, and she's a very good dog. She's a little skittish, but she's a very good dog. And then Clifford's just kind of a derp, 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 goes with the flow. But anyway, my dogs are fine now. Notice they're quiet. Now once my wife gets home, when Lady Boomer gets here, then they decide they want to play and they're roughhouse and whatnot. But wait, what? LOL, he even read a comment on Prospero 058 and it didn't click. It was her, even though he mentioned her name. Yeah, sometimes I said it and I'm like, no, I didn't know what didn't click is that I didn't say hello to Prospero. That's what I was saying. And hello, BG. Thanks for letting me know that I said her name. No, I know I said her name. I just didn't. I didn't click in my head that she was here and that I hadn't said hi to her earlier. Let's see. So you are not going to go into Monkey Stream, set stream time, because you know that would be rude. So I know. So here's the thing. Because sometimes I think that's a reference to sometimes Monkey goes into my stream time or into some of the people who stream in the morning. Look, here's the thing. Monkey streams when Monkey is awake, and his sleeping schedule is very messed up because of his condition. So I usually don't get bent out of shape when Monkey streams when I stream. In fact, as he's a friend of mine, and I have no problem with that. And usually what Monkey does is if he streams during my stream time, he says, well, go watch PDawg stream, and then you come back and watch mine on the replay. Oh, Uncle Bob, here's a question that looks like a question. Put question marks on your questions so I know that they're questions that I should answer. Uncle Bobbity, my buddy from over on HB stream, are you prepared for the socialist vanguard to arrive and test your allegiance to the purity test of momentarily allowed pronouns? Hope you and the missus have a great Valentine anniversary. Well, it is Valentine's, and Lady Boomer's not here because we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. Although we double it up for our anniversary. Our anniversary is 8 days from today. Although it's funny. So when my kids were in high school, almost every year, because I'm a basketball coach, and it seemed like all 4 years of my son being in high school, he was on the basketball team, and every damn anniversary, we always were at a basketball tournament or a basketball game. Oh, a basketball tournament or a basketball game. It never failed. We were at a basketball tournament or a basketball game or something. And so now that he's done playing basketball, he's graduated from college, done with that basketball, we are going to do something, or we've been doing fun things. Like 2 years ago, our 25th anniversary, we went to New Orleans. That was a hoot. Boy, that was so fun. I had never been to New Orleans. We had so much fun. We ate so much great food. It was pretty chill because we got an Airbnb and just kind of roamed around. And I have a friend who's from there who told us all these just little hole-in-the-wall restaurants to go to. So we didn't go to we went to Bourbon Street once, and we went to Frenchman Street, which was really a lot more fun because it was more old style New Orleans. But holy smokes, the food there is so good in some of these little hole in the wall places. And then there was this big 10K race, a big famous 10K race that went right down the street where we were staying. And half of it are serious runners, but half of it are just people in costumes drinking beer while they're running. And so that was fun. A hoot. LOL Boomer. No, hoot is kind of faithless. A hoot. I picked that up living in Minnesota. I'd never said a hoot before I moved here. And but now I've been here 30 years. 30 years? Yeah, 31 years now I've been in Minnesota, and people here say, "Oh, it was a hoot." It's time for Lords of the Night. All right. There you go. Oh, you did your 25th in New Orleans too? Yeah, I love New Orleans. Don't want to live there because it's a dangerous city, but I do enjoy visiting. So, Lindsay needs an answer. I'm sorry. What did Lindsay ask me? Lindsay. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be the last question I answer because it's time for me to get out of here. Hey, who would win a fight? Tony the Tiger or Lucky Charms? Is this a trick question? Because who would win a fight between Tony Tiger and Lucky Charms? Because isn't the little magically delicious guy magic? Although I think Tony Tiger's such a pushover too. I mean, he's not a very ferocious tiger. That's tough. But you know what? Okay, Tony the Tiger's tiger instincts would take over, and before Lucky Charms could even wave his wand, chomp, he'd be done. So yes, Tony the Tiger would win a fight between Tony the Tiger and Lucky Charm. That was a great question. Wonder who's high? Yes, that would be cynical Lindsay. Hey, Lindsay, if you have a box of Lucky Charms, I'll bet you they would taste really good right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta go because I'm gonna go put Lords of the Knights in my earbuds and go do some work and clean up my kitchen here. So thank you all for dropping by. Hey, this was a lot of fun, just a little impromptu. Now that I have my my non-Morning Night Live screens all prepared and ready to go, thanks everyone for being here. My normal times to stream are Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 3 p.m. GMT on my Monday through Friday show called The Morning Night Live. If you are just hanging around or somehow got here by accident, please make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to make sure that you get notifications. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at PDawg Knight. And please share the streams and replays on social media. Thanks again for being here, everybody. But I do gotta go. Thanks for blah blah. My name's PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Have a great evening. Hey, this is PDawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here.